another edition of My Crappy Kitchen. We are out to prove that you don't need a fancy kitchen. You don't need fancy anything to make great food, Italian food. All you need is a crappy kitchen. That's no big deal. You don't need a granite countertop. All you need is a stove and tomatoes, and it looks terrible, is it? No, it looks great. That's sauce because what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a lasagna in my crappy kitchen. That's right. Fusco Import. I got oil on the signs. Don't pay any attention to this oil over here, okay? It's olive. This one was worse. Whoop. Anyway, Fusco. We don't need that sign right now. Fusco Imports 3-flour pasta blend that you can get at www.fuscoimports.com. And you can make pasta like this. See? Unbelievable. I'm not kidding you. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. And of course, you can make Fusco Imports 3-flour pizza. I'm sorry, the sign fell on the floor. 3-flour pizza blend. Fusco Peter's pizza blend. You can make it in your own crappy, even if you have a nice kitchen. Okay, let me show you the pasta we made for lasagna. We make this all by hand. Okay, we'll make a beautiful lasagna. I'm going to show you how to do it. Now you need bowls. See that? We got two of them. Remember I showed you the other day, 2 19-inchers. But you need bowls. You got pizza pans down there too. You can get all this stuff. Well, you will be able to get all this stuff on FuscoImports.com pretty soon. All right. Fusco. Okay, can't even read that sign. Here's it. Don't mind you. Listen, forget about the oil. All right. Oh, jeez. Sorry. All right. We're gonna try one more time. Hang on. Fusco. All right. I just. That's pasta. So we have 3 pounds ricotta, whole milk. Don't buy that other stuff. Buy whole milk. If you're gonna do it right. Forget the signs. I got oil on them. Well, you saw that they fall down all the time too. 1 extra large egg. If you don't have extra large, a couple of large eggs. 3/4 pound mozzarella, whole milk mozzarella, shredded. All right. 2/3 a cup. Can you see this? 2/3 a cup chopped fresh parsley, pepper, salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. Don't even go there. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be unbelievable. We're making lasagna, all right? So what we're going to do is, by the way, see this here? I blocked it out because they don't pay me to show their machine. I asked them for a free one, they wouldn't give it to me. You know how these people are. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the mozzarella in there, all right? Not the ricotta in there. And then I'm going to put the mozzarella in. Then I'm going to put this stuff in, the parsley. Nice. Then I'm going to add the nutmeg right at the end, okay? I'm going to maybe do like, I don't know, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Teaspoon of salt. This is for the filling for the lasagna, of course, you realize that. And the egg. I always get the shell, so I'm going to do that separately. See, I got a shell, son of a gun. Oh no, that's cheese. Alright, and then the egg. Alright? Now we're going to mix it all together, and then we're going to throw in a nutmeg. Alright, so what we're going to do, crank that up. But you don't have to make that fast. Just okay, and then the nutmeg. And let it mix for a little bit. Okay, you see how nice that's mixing up? That's just what you want right there. Alright, look at this. See that? I gotta tell you, that hint of nutmeg is out of this world. You don't need a lot. Okay, so we're gonna mix that in like this. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. See that? You don't want this too liquidy, because then when you make your lasagna will come out like, you know, it'll be mushat. It'll be like with all water in it. You don't want that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cover this. We're gonna set it aside. We're gonna put it in the refrigerator. That's while we prepare our pasta. Okay. And the only thing you need is Fusco. Don't worry about the oil, all right? And they're not going to fall down this time. 3 flour pizza blend, 3 flour pasta blend, and this we just made up. This is a brand new sign. 3 flour bread blend. I didn't have it last time. Remember when we made bread? Some, you know, people call me, they email me and say, do we really have to buy, in order to make that great pasta and the pizza dough and the pizza and do we really need to buy your 3 blend flours? You know, and I say to them, well, yes, of course you need to buy them. What are you, crazy? One more thing about sauce. When you go to make your lasagna, and we'll show you what, you know, how this all comes together. You shouldn't use hot sauce. Okay, in other words, you know, if you have it frozen, you're taking it out of the freezer, and you're putting it in the pan and warming it up, or heating it up, or defrosting it, thawing it out. You shouldn't use it when the sauce is hot. Let it be cool. You know, stick it in the refrigerator and let it cool off before you use it. Okay, you can see the water's almost boiling. What we're gonna do is we're gonna throw some salt in that water. And over here, what we have. This is an ice bath, okay, with the colander in the middle of it. Big bowl with ice and cold water. Now you say, what are you going to do with that? What we're going to do is when the pasta is cooked, and it's not going to be cooked all the way through. It's going to be in this homemade Fusco pasta it cooks quickly, obviously. So what we want to do is we want to fish it out of there and stick it in the cold bath so it stops cooking, and then it's suitable for laying down in our pan, in our lasagna pan. The water's boiling. We're gonna make maybe a tablespoon salt. Throw it in there. People ask why. Why do you put salt in the water? Because salt makes the pasta more buoyant, so it doesn't stick together and all that. You know, if you go swimming in the Dead Sea, it's the saltiest body of water in the world. You float for the same reason. Now, you're going to take, this is easy, this is your lasagna, you're going to take a spoon and you're going to give yourself a layer of sauce on the bottom of the pan. See what I'm doing? Layer, you don't have to, now you've got to be sparing with your sauce, or it's going to get, your lasagna's going to get too soupy. Alright? Look. See that? Layer of sauce. Now, the pasta. Alright, so we're going to throw just about as many as we think the bottom, the pan on to cover the bottom of the pan. Okay? Maybe these will be a little more than that. Now they're going to cook fast, so you got to get ready. You have to get ready because you're going to have to shift them into this. And you don't want them to cook too much because they're going to cook again when you bake your lasagna. That's why they call it baked lasagna. Capiche? Actually, it's acapid. So, we're going to let these go, and then we're going to take them out of there and stick them in the bath. You want to keep stirring because you don't want, you know, because these are pretty heavy. You don't want them sitting on the bottom of the pot or sticking together. Okay, I mean salt helps, but you gotta hang in there too. So you see here, those are they're beautiful, they're perfect. Now you may have pieces in here, right? You know, like whole strips. That's no problem, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna just piece the thing together. The lasagna doesn't know that they're full pieces or not, and your guests, your family won't know either when they dig in. What you're gonna do is you got a layer of sauce we put in there, right? So now we're gonna put in a layer of lasagna. Start on the shorter side here, because what you're going to do is you're going to overlay them. See that? You're going to lay them a little, maybe like a quarter of an inch on top of the previous one. All right? And you know you could cut these down to size if you wanted, but you know, why bother? So we're gonna keep doing this, and when we're done doing this, we're gonna put on a layer of the mixture that we did. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the mixture, okay, and we're going to put it. We're going to make a layer on top of the pasta. Okay, we're going to spread it. You can listen. I'm going to tell you something. You could use your fingers. Wash your hands. But you're going to have to use your fingers. And why not? You know, that's what they're there for. To spread it around. You may not, you know, but okay. See how that's being done? Okay. Now when we're done covering the whole thing, we're going to put another little layer of sauce on it, and then we'll stack them. You know, more pasta, mixture, sauce, and so on until we fill it up. See how that is? Whoops. Okay. What we're going to do now is we're going to take some sauce. Oh, there's a little piece of sausage in there. Wait till I show you how to make sauce. I know, everybody's got their own recipe, but trust me. You could cook. In fact, I'll teach you how to make it. It's all in the book, my father's book of Southern Italian peasant food. You can find it on Amazon. It's a very inexpensive book with over 240, maybe even a little more, recipes. They're all original. In other words, they came from... My grandfather owned a restaurant in Binghamton in the 20s, and and he was a great cook, and my grandmother was a great cook. And what he did was he would hire, you know, like Italian chefs that come off the boat, and they would have their specialty dishes. Well, the problem was, you know, they'd leave after a while, and then my grandfather would have to change the menu. So my father was going to Ithaca College at the time. He had the idea that what he would do is come home and codify. Because he worked in the restaurant, the whole family did. He codified. In other words, he sat with these guys and he wrote down, instead of a little of this, a little like I do it, he wrote down the recipes. And these are all original. They're just like what the immigrants brought over. There's no, this is, you know, Food Network stuff. And with all due respect to Food Network, this stuff is the original. And for, I don't know what the book is, like $20, maybe less, whatever it is on Amazon. My father's book of Southern Italian peasant food. It's the best investment you'll ever make when it comes to cookbooks. All right. Now you see what we did here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put more noodles on. I hate saying noodles. More pasta, more lasagna pasta on. And then we're going to just keep layering it. We're going to keep stacking it up. You know, a layer of sauce, a layer of pasta, a layer of sauce, a layer of pasta, and then over and over again, up until we get to the top, or until you run out of stuff. What I want to make sure to show you is when you're doing your next layer, you crisscross. In other words, the first layer of pasta went this way, okay, the width of the pan, and the next layer goes the length of the pan, and then the following layer obviously goes the width of the pan like that, okay? Keeps it together nicely. Okay, that's the that's like 4 layers, maybe, I don't know how many layers, maybe 4 or 5 layers. But you can see how that's coming out. And we're going to put some more of the mixture, what's left, on top. Then we're going to put the rest of our pasta we're going to cover. Then we're going to add mozzarella on top and grated Parmesan, a mixture of Parmesan and Romano cheeses. Okay? And then we're going to cover it with aluminum foil and pop it in the oven at 350, 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes. We're going to take off the aluminum foil and let it get nice and crusty. Now you'll notice I left little edges here. And let me tell you why. It's not because I'm sloppy, because I am, but when these crisp up, they're great tasting. You know, when they get nice and crispy, you'll love them. If it looks like, you know, you're going to run out of mixture to spread because it looks a little sparse, don't worry about it, because what happens is that cheese is going to melt and it's going to spread all over. Cheese, especially mozzarella, has a tendency to walk or creep, and it moves all over the place, so that'll be okay. And if you're really worried about it, just spread some mozzarella around to fill it in, but you don't really have to. All right, we're going to finish this up now. All right, and what we're going to do, you don't have to worry about being perfect. There's no, in our crappy kitchen, there's no such thing as perfection. You don't want perfection. You want just nice. All right, we're going to finish it up. When we come back, we're always here. Next, we'll put the mozzarella and the grated cheese on top, pop it in the oven. We're going to spread a little more sauce on our last layer. Once again, you want to be fairly sparing with your sauce, because don't forget, you got, like, you know, you have several layers of it already. But it'll, you know, sauce will have a tendency, too much sauce will have a tendency to make the lasagna will be too soupy. It won't hold together. The other thing I want to remind you about is once this comes out, I know that the tendency is to be impatient, but once this comes out of the oven, you got to let it sit for a good half an hour anyway. Okay, now I'm going to take some mozzarella, maybe like a cup. You know, you'll you know, just enough to cover. You'll see it. You can do it. You don't need me to tell you that. And you can see, you don't need, I keep saying this because it's so true, because we've been buffaloed, everybody, that you got to have this. You got to have a giant kitchen. You got to have, you know, the granite countertops and all that other stuff. Well, it's nice to have, and certainly, you know, if you're capable, if you're able to do that, then God bless you. But for the rest of the world, you know, this is okay. You know, your kitchen will be fine. This is a mixture of Parmesan and Romano. We grind it ourselves. Okay? I'm going to put this on the top, spread it around. Now, the other thing I wanted to tell you, okay, that's about it. See? Baked lasagna before it's baked. The other thing I wanted to tell you was because it has a tendency to overflow, you might want to put your lasagna tray, boy, it's heavy, onto another tray so that it doesn't get all over your oven. Okay? All right, we're going to wrap it up, put it in the oven. I preheated the oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to put aluminum foil over this. You don't want to make it too tight. In fact, give it a little room up on top. Okay? All right? Okay, in the oven, 350 degrees, 20 minutes or so, maybe a little longer. Then we'll, because nothing's exact. You got to be, you got to have a feel for it. But you're gonna, in about 20 minutes or so, you're gonna take this off a little bit. You're gonna see it bubbling and all that. If it is bubbling, that means it's cooked. So what you want to do is you take this off and you let it bake. Now, I'll show you a little trick about making it nice and crusty on the top. You probably know it already. All right, in the oven. All right. Next, the one up from the bottom. The grate. Put that in there. There you go. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes. And you can see, it's starting to melt a little bit. That's just what we want. We're going to pop it back in the oven without the, we took off the aluminum foil. We're going to pop it back in the oven for another 15-20 minutes. I say another 15-20 minutes. It could be less. You got to keep checking it. And the way you'll know is when you look at that, when you look at it inside the oven, if it's starting to bubble all over the place, you're pretty much done. By the way, I save the aluminum foil. You should too. Okay, as you can see, it's a thing of beauty. And that's done on the inside. And you see over here, see the little crispies on the side? That pasta? Those are delicious. Those are absolutely delicious. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this out and we're going to stick it under the broiler for about 30 seconds. And you're going to see how nice and crispy and brown that top gets. This is almost the finished product. Once again, what we're going to do is we're going to take that and we're going to put it under the broiler. We had that shelf, that second shelf up on the almost the top row. We put it down to the second one and we put the broiler on low. And when that heats up, we'll pop the lasagna back in the oven and you'll see what it looks like when it's absolutely finished. I wonder if you can hear that. Can you see what's happening there? Now I'm going to take this right out because it's getting brown. You see it? And there you have it. Perfect lasagna. Using, no, not using that. Using, wait a minute. Using this. Fusco Imports 3-flour pasta blend. You can buy it at www.fuscoimports.com. Of course, we're having fun here. You know that. But this is, if you could smell this, if you could, up close and personal, this is an absolute work of art. You can do this. I'm telling you, you do not need a fancy kitchen or fancy implements. Look at the old timers did this with far less than even what I have in crappy kitchen. But the bottom line here is you do need Fusco Imports 3-flour pasta blend because the pasta is at least 60% of the meal. All right, bon appetit. Oh, and before I forget, make sure you let this sit for a good 20 minutes to half an hour. And by the way, it took us a little longer to bake this, and I think it's probably because we had this pan underneath. But that's okay, maybe like 45 minutes. But it doesn't make any difference because you can hear it. You can hear it bubble in the oven, and you know that means that the insides are done. And then you take it out and you put it under the broiler, like I showed you, on low. And let it sit there for maybe 30 seconds, not 30 seconds. Yeah, maybe 30 seconds to 45 seconds, maybe even to a minute. But you'll be able to tell, depending on your oven, and you take a look at it, and if it's brown on the top, if it's browning nicely like this, there you go. All right, we're going to cut into this. We'll do it this way. Hear that? Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that cheese. I love the stuff at the bottom. There you have it. Unbelievable lasagna. Look at it, it's still hot. That's Fusco Imports. 3 flour pasta blend. Buy it, www.fuscoimports.com. Next video, we're going to show you how to make sauce. So you got to watch My Crappy Kitchen. See you later.